Hi, welcome to China Focus. I'm Karen Chang, filling in for Shelley Zhang. Now, this week there were two events that gave some people hope that Chinese leaders may be wanting to fix the rule of law in China. One was the sentencing of 10 people in Beijing for illegally detaining petitioners and putting them in black jails. The other, perhaps more significant, is the announcement by Yunnan province officials that they will now stop sending certain people to labor camps. Now, does this mean that we're going to start to see a China that is ruled by law? To discuss this with me today is senior China analyst Heng He. So the 10 people that were sentenced to jail were 10 farmers from Henan province, and they were found guilty of detaining petitioners from Henan to go into Beijing. Now, this was a big deal a lot of people saw because first, it was an acknowledgement that black jails in fact do exist in China because authorities previously denied it. But it also brings up another question. Who actually hired these 10 people to do this? Because it wasn't really discussed in the case at all.
No, the case and media didn't report this part. But the thing is, the 10 people from Henan province, they are farmers. They have no business in Beijing and they have no business with petitioners. So who hired them, who sent them to Beijing, who authorized their activity in Beijing? That's all the questions yet to be answered. However, the trial and the media didn't report this part. So it's hard to say this is really try to fix this problem.
But anybody looking at this case, it's an obvious question that will come up. Why did the court and the media omit it? Why did they leave it out?
The question is, 10 people, one of them, they said this guy hired 9 others. But this guy is also a farmer. During the first trial, actually, they pointed to one person who is a Henan Yuzhou official who is working for the petition office. He used to be in Beijing. Local government has an office in Beijing. He is the member of this Beijing office. And he actually hired those people. But when asked why he didn't mention this person, the Beijing court answered, we don't have the authority jurisdiction to do anything on them. So this is not right because if the other government have an office in Beijing and they violated the law, it should be under Beijing authorities' jurisdiction.
So you're saying that they're saying they don't have jurisdiction to answer the fact that they're not letting him back.
Yeah, to try this guy. And also this guy is a very low-level official. He doesn't have money to pay those 10 people. So if they try to track all the way up, they will be probably to Henan province and even higher to who made the policy to force people to get rid of the petitioners. There will be big trouble.
But Xi Jinping recently said that he's going to go after flies and tigers. In this particular case, it seems like he's going after the flies and purposely leaving out the tigers who are behind this whole thing.
At least in this case, that's the case, yes.
So without targeting these people that, the few people that are controlling the system, because the case of interceptors from provincial authorities isn't just from Henan province, it exists around the country. Will authorities now have to go after these individuals that are involved in these types of illegal activities?
They'll be targeted too many local government. And I don't think this is what the central government or the party want to do. To target so many different provinces. But they probably want to use this case as an example that the central government or central CCP want to solve this issue and probably give the warning to other province officials. Just do something, but not so openly, and don't make us in the awkward position.
It's like sending a signal to them not to make it hard for them. So the other thing that happened was in Yunnan province, the head of the Political and Legislative Affairs Committee there announced on Tuesday that they're going to stop trying 3 groups of people and sending them to labor camps. Now these are people that are suspected of jeopardizing state security, who have repeatedly petitioned, or those who defame the image of party leaders. Now, they say these people won't be tried for labor camps and will be put through the rule of law. What does this mean?
That means those people, 3 categories, they are no longer will be put in the labor camp. So that's permanent, stopped. But the problem is these three categories are not in the regulation of this labor camp.
In the first place?
First place, that's 1982. Public Security Ministry has a regulation. That's the, re-education through labor follow this rule. But it has 6 different categories that can be sent to the labor camp. None of them are the 3 of them. So 3 of them, like defaming the party or government leaders, it's not in any written regulations. And there's only one in the regulation. That's the petitioners. Repeated petitioners. But that's added by the Political and Law Affairs Committee. That's the party organ. Party organ has nothing to do with this re-education through labor. So they have no authority to put anything into this regulation.
So you're saying that these groups of people weren't supposed to be part of the labor camp system anyway, so now they're saying, right, okay, we've acknowledged that they're illegal, it's illegal to put them there, so we'll stop it. The other group of people, they said that all other cases, they will put a temporarily suspend, basically. How is that different to, why do they have this caveat, I guess, not completely stop it?
Because this re-education through labor, since it doesn't need any legal process, so it's very handy tools for the party and the security force to persecute people, violate human rights. They are afraid if they totally stop immediately, they don't have the handy tools to do whatever they want to do. So probably they want to resume it in some cases or in some occasion. That's why they leave the space there, pause or temporarily stop. And once necessary, they probably will reinstall it.
So the other thing that the PLAC chief from Yunnan said is that the existing people that are already in the labor camps, they will continue to serve their sentences. But if he's already said previously that these 3 particular groups of people especially, they weren't supposed to be there in the first place, or implied that, isn't it contradictory that they are going to just keep everything the same with people who are already there? Yeah,
from the history, the Communist Party's wrong policy always resolved in the contradictory way. To criticize the rightist people, actually, they never said that the campaign was wrong. They just said they expanded, targeted too many people. This is the same case. They won't admit that the re-education through labor system was wrong. They just say, we no longer use it. This way, the party saved the face, and then the system will be corrected or reformed to fit some, open, constitution or the law. But I don't think that it will fit the constitution or fit the law. But in a way, they try to make it not so obviously to violate the law.
Because that brings up another question. A lot of people, when they first heard in January that the labor camp system may be either reformed or abolished, there were fears that the CCP would bring in some other kind of penal system to replace it. Essentially, nothing really would change. Do you think this is something that's likely to happen? Have we seen any indications that it's already happening?
Yes. When they announced this stop or the pause the re-education through labor system, they also mentioned that they need to establish or get good use of the existing system. For example, the correction, community correction, and in the grassroots, some infrastructure. They didn't mention what is the infrastructure, but for my knowledge, that's some system already exists. It's outside the law. It's not legal system, but it's also has the authority to put people in detention or, brainwash, like prosecute Falun Gong, brainwash center. So they will use this system. And on the other hand, recently there's a report from Meng Sutie website. Recently, the Falun Gong practitioners send less Falun Gong practitioners sent to the labor camp, but more sentenced by the court. put in jail sentence. This is dramatically increased. So they want to use different existing system, and also probably create a new system as a replacement of this re-education through labor.
So why Yunnan province? Do you think the officials there took on this initiative, or do you think this is part of a broader plan by the central authorities to roll out this kind of pseudo change in the whole country?
Usually the province level doesn't have this authority to initiate any campaign. As in January, when the central PRAC announced this stop using forced labor system, actually I think an NTD reporter called the Chinese authority in province level, and they all said we didn't receive any internal memo or orders to do anything. That means they have to wait until the real paper come down, not the newspaper. The internal memos, internal documents. That's why I think the Yunnan province is the province that the central CCP selected to use this province as a test example. And once success, they can expand to other provinces.
And so these announcements of the labor camp changes basically have come after a lot of political pressure, both from inside the country and also externally. Do you think this is a political move, or is it really a sign that the Chinese leaders are trying to fix what's wrong with the legal system?
I think the legal system has too many problems. It's not only re-education through labor, but also the court, and the public security, and the prosecutor. So the whole system was totally destroyed since the persecution of Falun Gong, and it cannot be restored in one day. So I think if we want to fix the whole system, there'll be too much for anybody. I think more or less this is one step. Try to fix some small problem, and more likely it's a political sign to we are doing something to let people believe that change is going to happen.
So you're saying you're not of the belief that real change is going to happen to fix all the little problems that exist in the legal system?
Yeah, something like give us time, be patient.
Well, let's see how much patience Chinese people really have. And we've actually run out of time today, so thank you for being with us here and talking about this issue. And thank you for watching China Focus. For more on China-related topics, please visit our website at ntd.tv.